Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about ordering decimals. And this is a lot like comparing decimals, except instead of 2, we're looking at least 3 or more decimals to look at, and we have to put them in a specific order according to the directions. Again, you're still comparing the decimals, but this time you just have more than 2 to look at. Okay? And we're going to do 2 examples together. Now, if you notice in the 2 examples that I have here, there are different instructions, and that's something you have to be really careful about. Sometimes you're going to be asked to put them from least, which is smallest, to greatest, the biggest. And sometimes it's going to be flip-flop, where you're going to put them in order from biggest to smallest. So you need to be careful to read the instructions, okay? Let's look at the first example. Start. In the first example, it's telling us that we need to put them in order from least to greatest, so from smallest to biggest. Before I can really put them in order, I have to figure out the order by stacking them just like we did when we compared decimals, except for this time, I'm stacking 4 different numbers. And if you remember, the main thing we have to remember when we're comparing decimals and you're stacking them up is you have to line something up. Yep, you're right, you have to line up the decimals. Okay, so let's give that a shot. I'm going to write these numbers down while lining up the decimals. I've got 2 and 7 thousandths. Okay, I've got 2 and, decimal goes here, 714 thousandths. This one these two have last digits, so you have to be careful. I'm going to put that decimal down. Right before it is a 2, and right after it is an 09. So this is 2 and 9 hundredths. And finally, I've got my last one where, again, I'm going to put my decimal down, put 2 before it, and the 97 after, which is 2 and 97 hundredths. And remember, if it helps you, you can add in something to make sure that all of the digits line up. Because there's no digits here and here, what can I put there to show? I can put in a 0. You're absolutely right. Good. So then to figure out how to put them in order, all we have to do is we have to line them up, and we have to cover up all of the numbers, except for the ones on the left, because remember we read from left to right. On the left side, we've got all 4 2s, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And if you notice, none of them is bigger. So what do I have to do? We move over to the next number. Ooh, got all different kinds of numbers. Now, if you notice, we're going from least to greatest. I've got 0, 7, 0, 9. Well, the smallest number that I see here is a 0, but I have 2 of them. Okay, so what do I have to do? I have to go to the next digit, but I'm looking at just these 2 numbers right now. So if I go over, I've got a 0 and I've got a 9. Which one's smaller? Yep, the first one. Okay, so that's actually going to be my first number when I'm putting them in order. 2 and 7 hundredths. Then once I put that down, I'm going to cross it off to know that I'm done with it. Okay, so then I'm going to go back and do it again. 2, 2, 2. They're all the same, so I move to the right. Okay, we crossed off that first one, so that's out of the way. So now if I look at these 3 numbers, which one's the smallest? 0. That means this number comes next. 2 and 9 hundredths. And I'm going to write it the way that it was given to me, without that extra 0 that I added. And I keep going. Cover them up again, and I've got 2 left. 2 and 2 means I keep moving. I've got a 7 and I've got a 9. Which one's smaller? Yep, 7 is. That means that this number comes next. So I'm going to write that one down. 2 and 714 thousandths. Which means I only have 1 number left, and I'm going to add that one to the end. 2 and, I'm going to give it the way that it was given to me, 97 hundredths. And now it's from smallest to biggest. Very good. So now for the second part, we're going to go from greatest to least, biggest to smallest, okay? All it is opposite order. So instead of looking for the biggest or the smallest number, we're going to be looking for the biggest number, reading from left to right, okay? Step 1, go ahead and put them in order. 386 thousandths. Remember, I line up the decimals, so this one goes here. What's before it? A 0. What's after it? A 3. The next one is 683 thousandths, and the last one is 836 thousandths. Okay, all of these have 4 digits, and if I don't, or if I want to help myself out, I can put zeros in the empty spots. Okay, now we're reading from left to right, finding the biggest number first, going from biggest to smallest. Okay, so cover everything up except the left side, and I've got all zeros. That means all of them are the same, so I have to move over. Okay, I've got 3, 3, 6, 8. Now I'm looking for the biggest number because I'm going from greatest to least, and I know that the 8 is biggest out of all of these numbers. So that means this is the biggest number in general. So what do? Cross it off, and that's going to be the first number that I write down. Okay, now I have to find the next biggest number. So I cover them up and go again. All zeros, move over 1. This time I've got 3, 3, and a 6 left because remember I crossed this one off after I've used it. Which number is bigger? Yep, 6. That means this is the next biggest number. 0 and 683 thousandths. So now I have to do this one more time to find out the next biggest number. Cover them up, and we move over. All zeros, keep going. 2 3s, those are the same, so I have to keep going. Now I have an 8 and a 0. I know that one of these is bigger, and which one's bigger? The 8. That means this number is the next biggest. So I'm going to use it next. 386 thousandths. That means finally this number is the smallest, and I'm going to write it as it was given, as 3 tenths. So now these numbers are in order from biggest to the smallest. All right, that's it. Hope this helps you guys with your homework tonight.